You know, someone is built different when they don't just outrun athletes, they outrun entire narratives. In Sha'Carri Richardson, Sis doesn't run, she teleports. 1 second she's in the blocks, the next she's in a new income bracket, wondering why the rest of us are still buffering. Today we're diving into the unbelievable story, wealth and lifestyle of the fastest woman alive. A woman who turned tragedy into turbo, criticism into confidence, and a comeback into a cultural revolution. So buckle up, because Sha'Carri's life is a full-speed, full-volume documentary that forgot to hit the brakes. She's only 23, and her net worth is already over $5 million. Million. Not hopeful millionaire energy, but actual zeros. This isn't accidental money. This is brands know I move culture money. Nike, Beats by Dre, Apple Music. These aren't endorsement deals. These are strategic alliances. Sha'Carri isn't just an athlete. She's primetime marketing electricity wrapped in lashes, color, and confidence. And speaking of confidence, don't even get me started on the lifestyle. Sha'Carri walks like luxury owes her money. Designer fits that pop louder than fireworks, nails so sharp they could file through negativity, and cars that look like Marvel built them for a superheroine in training. But the best part? The glam is intentional. Nothing she does is random. Every hair flip, every outfit, every pre-race aesthetic is a branding masterclass. She's selling speed, but she's also selling identity, and the world is buying. But here's where the story gets wild. This kind of glow-up didn't just appear one day like an Amazon package on your doorstep. Sha'Carri's been built for greatness since day one. Dallas raised her, but destiny pushed her. Before she even had a driver's license, she was outrunning kids, records, expectations, all of it. Junior Olympics? She ate NCAA championships? She snapped and left the world blinking. By 19, she wasn't promising, she was historic. And just when it looked like nothing could slow her down, life threw a punch so hard that most people never recover from it. Imagine preparing for the biggest race of your life. Cameras everywhere, reporters waiting, the whole world watching, and then a journalist on live TV tells you your biological mother has passed away. No preparation, no moment to breathe, just heartbreak detonating in real time. Anyone else would have collapsed. But Sha'Carri stepped on the track with a heart that was breaking and legs that refused to. She ran like her soul was on fire, and she won. That race wasn't about speed, it was about survival. And it proved what the world would soon learn. Sha'Carri Richardson is powered by something deeper than muscle. But life wasn't done testing her resilience. Because right after that victory, another storm hit. One that set the internet ablaze, split opinions, and sparked one of the biggest athletic controversies of the decade. And this is where the story gets even crazier. When the controversy hit, it didn't tap Sha'Carri on the shoulder. It hit her like a flying elbow. The world found out she had tested positive for marijuana, and suddenly every armchair expert, couch critic, and Twitter warrior became a biochemist overnight. People acted like she had injected rocket fuel into her legs, when in reality, marijuana isn't making anyone run faster. If anything, it makes the couch run faster, straight into your back. But context matters, and her story wasn't some scandalous gotcha moment. She was grieving, deeply, painfully, publicly. She used marijuana in a state where it was legal, trying to cope with a loss that she hadn't even had time to process. And yet, boom, Olympic dreams snatched. 1 month suspension, headlines louder than her hair color, critics circling like pigeons near a dropped French fry. People were mad, not just for her, but at the system. Because let's be real, the punishment didn't match the situation. Marijuana isn't performance enhancing, unless the performance is eating snacks and feeling your heartbeat. And athletes in other countries had similar results without the same consequences. So why was she treated like she'd committed a crime on par with treason? But here's the thing about Sha'Carri. She never plays the victim. She stood up, owned her choice, apologized, faced the consequences, and didn't hide. She didn't throw a tantrum, didn't blame the world, didn't crumble. That's the difference between people who are famous and people who are icons. Icons take the hit, absorb the impact, and come back like destiny cleared its throat and said, "Round two." And when she came back, oh, she didn't return quietly. She returned loud, electric, radiant. In July 2023, Sha'Carri stepped back onto the track and snatched the U.S. national title with a time so fast it practically violated the sound barrier. It wasn't just a comeback. It was a declaration, a full-volume message that said, "You can pause me, but you can't stop what's meant for me." Then came Budapest, World Athletics Championships, global stage, lights brighter than a TikTok influencer's ring light. Everyone held their breath. The skeptics, the haters, the fans, the journalists who once doubted her, all waiting to see if she was truly back or just briefly trending. And then it happened. Sha'Carri Richardson blasted down that track like she was late for a blessing. She crossed the finish line in 10.65 seconds, becoming the fastest woman alive. Not just that, she set a championship record and shut down every critic from Jamaica to Japan with pure, undeniable excellence. But she wasn't done flexing. She came back 2 days later, anchored the 4x100 relay, and helped Team USA break another record. A double gold moment, a redemption tour, a spiritual cleanse, a don't play with me performance. And here's the craziest part. She wasn't even in her full prime yet. Imagine someone winning gold medals while still sharpening their final form. Terrifying. But Sha'Carri's success isn't just built on speed, it's built on the people who raised her, loved her, and kept her grounded. Because behind every unstoppable force, there's a foundation strong enough to hold the weight of destiny. And trust me, her foundation? It's a story you don't want to miss. Behind every champion, there's a backstory that doesn't fit neatly into highlight reels. And with Sha'Carri, that story starts at home, with a family built on strength, sacrifice, and the kind of love that doesn't crumble under pressure. Raised primarily by her grandmother, Betty Harp, and a devoted aunt, Sha'Carri grew up surrounded by women who didn't just tell her she was destined for greatness, they prepared her for it. Betty wasn't just a guardian. She was her anchor, her coach, her reality check, her safe space, and sometimes the only soft landing in a world determined to test her. And that's the thing people forget. Sha'Carri didn't rise in a vacuum. She rose on the shoulders of women who believed in her before the world ever learned her name. But even with that foundation, nothing could shield her from the emotional earthquake she felt when she lost her mother. It shook her, it changed her, and it fueled her in ways even she probably didn't expect. It was grief, yes, but grief that turned into gasoline. What's wild is that even while navigating a level of pain that would bury most people, Sha'Carri still showed up, still trained, still ran, still fought. And even when the world judged her for how she coped, she never hid the truth. She embraced it, confronted it, and let it become part of her story instead of something to run from. And if you think that kind of emotional resilience is impressive, wait until you see how she manages her personal life. Because that is another plot twist the media never quite knows how to handle. Sha'Carri may be a superstar, but when it comes to romance, she's surprisingly private. No messy PR stunts, no attention-seeking partner reveals, no public theatrics. People speculate, because of course they do, but she keeps that part of herself locked up tighter than Fort Knox. The only relationship she's ever openly discussed was with Jamaican track athlete Janique Brown, a love story full of passion, competitiveness, and lessons. It ended, as most passionate young relationships do, and Sha'Carri was honest about it, painfully honest. She admitted the mistakes, the toxicity, the heartbreak, the desire to heal, maybe even the desire to reconcile at one point. But she didn't drag anyone through the mud. She just grew, learned, and moved forward like a woman who refuses to let her past dictate her destiny. Off the track, her vibe is a whole plot twist in itself. For someone who moves at 10.65 seconds, she values quiet, journaling, meditation, spiritual reflection. Sha'Carri is deeply grounded in her Christian faith, which surprises people who stereotype confidence as arrogance. But she's not loud because she lacks grounding. She's loud because she's rooted. She knows exactly who she is, exactly where she's going, and exactly what she refuses to compromise. And she's not just a cultural icon, she's a voice. A voice for young athletes, a voice for Black women, and yes, a voice within the LGBTQ+ community. She doesn't shrink herself to fit into society's outdated image of what an athlete should be. She expands. She breaks molds. She makes room for women who don't want to choose between being themselves and being great. But she keeps that part of herself locked up tighter than Fort Knox. The only relationship she's ever openly discussed was with Jamaican track athlete Janique Brown, a love story full of passion, competitiveness, and lessons. It ended, as most passionate young relationships do, and Sha'Carri was honest about it, painfully honest. She admitted the mistakes, the toxicity, the heartbreak, the desire to heal. But if you think her identity is powerful, wait until you see how she uses her success. Because the lifestyle she's living now, oh, it's giving I earned every second of this. And next, we're diving straight into the world of Sha'Carri's money, legacy, luxury, and the jaw-dropping ways she enjoys the life she built at full speed. Trust me, you're not ready. Now let's talk about the part everyone loves to whisper about, the money. Because Sha'Carri Richardson didn't just bounce back, she bounced back with a bank account that looks like it's been doing cardio with her. At just 23, she's sitting comfortably on a net worth north of $5 million, putting her in the elite category of young millionaire athletes. But the way she moves with that money, oh, it's pure art. Her endorsement deals aren't just partnerships. They're collaborations between brands and a cultural meteor. Nike didn't sign her because she runs fast. Nike signed her because she moves the culture faster. Beats by Dre didn't put her in ads just because she's trending. They know she is the trend. Apple Music knows her voice hits just as hard as her acceleration. Sha'Carri doesn't wear brands. Brands wear Sha'Carri. And when she splurges, she does it with that same unapologetic flair the world loves her for. Designer outfits that look custom even when they're not. Lashes dramatic enough to deserve their own slow-motion replay. Cars sleek enough to need their own entrance music. She lives loud, sharp, and intentional. But the most tender part of her success story? Her loyalty. She spoils her family, especially the people who held her down when she had nothing but raw talent and a dream. No matter how high she climbs, she never forgets the hands that lifted her. Even she admits she could never repay her grandmother and aunt for the sacrifices they made, but she'll spend her whole life trying. And as for her image, let's be honest. When Sha'Carri steps onto the track, she turns a stadium into a runway. The nails, the hair, the lashes. It's not vanity, it's visibility, it's representation, it's a statement. I don't have to shrink to be great. People compare her to the legendary Florence Griffith Joyner, Flo-Jo, not just because of the style, but because of the energy, the fearlessness, the absolute refusal to tone down womanhood to be taken seriously. Sha'Carri is the modern embodiment of that spirit, proof that excellence doesn't require muting your identity. Of course, being bold comes with pushback. People critique her personality, her trash talk, her confidence. They call her too much, too loud, too expressive. But the funny thing? The world has never had a problem with athletes being fiery. They just have a problem when a Black woman does it with nails and a 10.65. But what they can't deny is her growth. When she tests positive for marijuana, she owned it. When she had a bad race, she admitted it. When she disappointed fans, she apologized. She shows the highs and the lows. And that's why people ride for her, because vulnerability and accountability look good on champions. Now the only question left is the one the whole world keeps asking. Is Sha'Carri Richardson destined to dominate track for the next decade? Will she go down as one of the greatest sprinters of all time? Will she rewrite history the same way she rewrote her own narrative? Only time can answer that. But one thing's for sure, she's already changed the conversation. She's already stamped her name into culture. And whether you love her or love to argue about her, you can't ignore her. Not anymore. Thanks for watching. And if Sha'Carri inspired you today, hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite female sprinter, and subscribe for more stories about the icons shaping our world. Stay inspired, stay bold, and I'll see you in the next video.